Hello everyone, Ramya, Assistant Professor of CSC Department from Rohini College of Engineering and Technology. Subject code OEC 754, Unit 5, Topic Brain Machine Interface. Objective to learn about the concepts of brain machine interface and its types. A brain machine interface, sometimes called a direct neural interface or a brain machine interface, it is a direct communication pathway between a brain and an external device. Here, BCA is often aimed as assisting, augmenting, or repairing human cognitive or sensory motor functions. Then the brain computer interfaces are systems that allow communication between the brain and various machines. So they work in three main steps. First one, collecting brain signals, next one, interpreting them, and the last one is outputting commands to a connected machine according to the brain signal received. It can be applied to a variety of tasks including but not limited to neurofeedback. It also restoring motor function to paralyzed patients, allowing communication with locked in patients and improving sensory processing. It can be separated in three categories depending on the method used to collect brain signals. Here, criteria for brain computer interface, that means direct. The system must rely on direct measures of brain activity. Real time. Real time, it refers to a maximum of a 1 minute delay between the user's information of a relevant message or command and resulting feedback. Feedback. BCA must present real-time feedback to the user. This is the system must act on the user's intent to the system so that the user can know whether she or he successfully conveyed the desired message or command. The next one is criteria for BCA direct. The system must rely on direct measures of brain activity. The next one is real time. Real time refers to a maximum of a 1 minute delay between the user's information of a relevant message or command and resulting feedback. The next one is feedback. It must present real-time feedback to the user. That is, the system must act on the user's intent so that the user can know whether he or she successfully conveyed the desired message or command. Then the last one is international. The user must perform some volunteer, intentional, goal-directed mental activity each time he or she wishes to convey messages. This criterion excludes all passive BCA. It is the working definition of a BCA. It shows the following diagrams. First, we are going to see the types of BCA. There are many different techniques to measure brain signals. First one is active BCA. It derives its outputs from brain activity which is directly consciously controlled by the user and it is independently from external events for controlling an application. The next one is reactive BCA. It derives its output from brain activity arising in reaction to external stimulation which is indirectly modulated by the users of controlling an application. The last one is passive or affective BCA. It derives its output from spontaneous brain activity without the purpose of volunteer control. We can divide them into non-invasive, semi-invasive and invasive. The next one is different brain image techniques. The first one is MEG. It is a functional neuroimaging technique for mapping the brain activity by recording magnetic field. It also produced by electrical currents occurring naturally in the brain. It is using very sensitive magnetometers. Next one, PET. That means it is a nuclear imaging technology. It is used in medicine to observe different processes such as blood flow, metabolism, neurotransmitters happening in the body. Then the next one is fMRI, that means functional magnetic resonance imaging. It is the functional neuroimaging procedure using MRI technology that measures brain activity by detecting changes associated with blood flow. This technique relies on the fact that means cerebral blood flow and neuronal activations are coupled. The next one is Functional near infrared spectroscopy. It is the use of NIRS for the purpose of functional neuroimaging using FNIR. The brain activities measured through hemodynamic responses associated with neurobehavior. The last one is EEG. It provides the recording for electrical activity of the brain from the surface of the scalp. Next one is the major components of a BC, signal processing. Transforms one signal to another. That means from the point of view, a signal processing transmutes the input signal into a control signal. And also its components can be conventionally described as filters. Some relevant filter classes are spatial filter, temporal filter, spectral filters, spatio-temporal filters, etc. Then the next one is feature extraction, that is the off-the-shelf machine learning methods often do not work very well when applied to raw signal segments of the calibration recording. That means it is too high dimensional, too complex structure to be captured. Then the next one is typical solution. It is used to introduce additional mapping from raw signal segments onto future vectors. It is used to extract the key features of a raw observation. That means output is usually of lower dimensionally. Hopefully it will be statistically better distributed. The next one is machine learning. In this machine learning, most methods conform to a common framework of a training function and a prediction function. First one is supervised learning. It will given a set of input-output pairs as training data. Then you have to learn a parametric model M that encodes the mapping from input to output. The next one is unsupervised learning. It given a set of training examples, learn the structure in the input space. Example clusters, manifolds, probability, density. And the next one is semi-supervised learning. Some training examples have lab, others do not have what. BCA performance. Both calibration data and test data are available. For example, estimate model parameters, apply the model to new data, measure prediction performance or loss between a vector of prediction dollar and a vector of target percentage using forest. Here we have two formulas, that is mean square error and misclassification rate. Next one is test future data not available. That means split one data set repeatedly into training or test blocks systematically. Time series data, it is used to prefer blockwise cross validation over randomized. Then the consideration. Since neighboring trials are more closely related than training and future online data, leave a margin of several trials or seconds between training set and the standard splitting schemes 5x, 10x. Here also we have time, information transfer rate. Here n represents the number of different types of mental tasks and p is the accuracy of classification. Then we have some challenges in BCA. EEG signals are mathematically complicated to handle since all sensors record almost the same signal. Brain dynamics are very complex. For example, folding of cortex differs between any two persons. Relevant functional map differs across individuals. Sensor locations differ across recording sessions. Brain dynamics are non-stationary at all time scales. Thank you.